Yo, how are we doing, people? What's good? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the Premier League review. Yeah, it's not going to be a good one, isn't it, Josh? It's not going to be a good one. Our club's in the mud once again.
We said that plenty of times this season. Too many
Plenty,
times.
too many, way too many. I think about times 20 too many. I've said that because my team,
At least.
my team, we've lost how many games this season? We lost 17 games, 16, 17 games this season. Tottenham have lost 20 games this season, and yet they're still below us by a point. It's crazy. It's genuinely crazy. But listen, people, as you are tuning in, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, sub to Josh. He has a video coming up very, very, very soon. Very soon.
Forget about that, as I keep saying. AN Sports every day of the week, main priority.
But like I
And
said,
check out his United show if you haven't already,
yep.
because that was a fantastic viewing, and that's reflected through the views and likes. So yeah.
Facts. Make sure you guys do check out that if you haven't done so already. It's gotten a lot of views so far because I just randomly told Rasta, do you know what, bro? Let's just do a United stream. Let's just rant about the club. I didn't expect to get this many traction. I'll be honest with you. It's probably the most traction I've got on this channel so far. So big up to everyone who's tuned in. Big up to everyone who's watched the video, who's watched it back, liked the video, and left a comment in the chat. The real ones know who you are. And as always, make sure you guys do support both of our channels. Subscribe to mine, subscribe to Josh, like and subscribe as always. We're
Akabin. AN Sports any day of the week. Subscribe to that, and we'll get on to the Premier League review.
But once you upload a video, everyone's going to be there to see it. So, like I said, sub to Josh as well. When I will leave the link in the title, so you do sub to him. And obviously, like I said, we're currently on 230 subs. 20. If there's 20 of you tuning in, get me to 250 by the end of today. Because I got like 5 subs after that video. I don't mean to brag.
I think you did.
But like that was good traction. But let's get more subs. You know, let's get to the end of let's get to 250 subs. But yeah, let's get started, man. Obviously, where do you want to start? I mean, we could start with Newcastle, Chelsea. I think that's the race for Europe. We can start with that one. We can start. City dropping points. City dropping points.
Big. That was big.
Let's go with that one. City dropping points to Southampton away. Josh, take it away.
I was pleasantly surprised by that. Obviously, in the UK, it was a free. Hi, Agassia. 3 o'clock kickoff. You can't watch it in the UK unless you illegally stream it, and I couldn't be bothered doing that this time. So I just thought, you know what? I'm done with football anyway. As I said in our previous stream, City are going to batter them. I'm not even going to bother paying attention.
Yeah,
Turns out Southampton actually dug in and got a result. So full credit to them. I'm sure we've all seen the Ruben Diaz press conference as well. Well, post-match interview.
What happened? What did he say?
Well, when he was talking about, he was accusing Southampton of not playing and only being defensive and all that. And I'm like, seriously, it's your fault you couldn't break them down. Why are they gonna open themselves up just for you to exploit them? Like every other club has over the last 7 years.
Southampton have now got more points than Derby County in that season. So now Derby County is still the worst team. Like I said, I called it. Southampton were going to be not the worst team. This team was not going to get the worst. They were already tied with Derby County with many games to go. I didn't see them. But a point against Man City, like fair play. Erling Haaland's returned as well. Sorry, go on.
Massive. Ramsdale, man of the match. If only he did it in an Arsenal shirt, that would have been a lot more beneficial a few seasons ago. Southampton as a unit were just brilliant defensively. Where has that been for the previous 35 games, lads? Because you could have put up a serious fight. We could genuinely see Manchester United in a proper relegation scrap if you put in half that desire and effort in the majority of your games. But hey, Foden was anonymous. Haaland was poor. I don't know why. I think Marmoush didn't start, and I'm not too sure why he didn't. I think Pep changed the winning team. I think they won 5 on the bounce before this game. And I think his changes did add a bit of rustiness to the team that caused them to drop these 2 points. Let's not forget, they are right in the mix for the race for the top 5. I think I've said it since January. I think they'll get it anyway. But those two massive points dropped when you consider where both teams are. And Newcastle are likely to finish ahead of them. They seem to be on the road to 4th place, 3rd place. Embarrassing season for Manchester City's extraordinarily high standards. But we know they'll be back next year. This was just a blip season, as was 1920. And I don't think Full credit to Southampton. Manchester City, they're pretty much guaranteed top 5 anyway, but that was a big blow for them in finishing second. So, fair play.
Currently, the points are City 65, Villa 63, big win away at Bournemouth. Chelsea lost to
Massive.
Newcastle. We'll get into those games in a bit. Forest have dropped points yet again, and the owner confronted them.
Confronted Nuno, yeah.
Yep, and I've seen a lot of English football fans saying that's how ungrateful, how this and that, but I don't want to get into it. I don't want people to be outraged, so I'd rather not say anything about it.
We've talked about the lack of standards in English football on a video on this channel. And if PY is in the chat, Agassia appears on that, so you're very welcome to watch that.
Fair enough. Augustia, you know, bro. My guy left a comment for you, bro, in one of the posts on my community posts. So make sure you do go see it if you haven't done so. I did send you the link, so go respond to it, man. Because I'm not gonna respond to it. That's your comment. But yeah. Anyways, it's a 4-point gap, or it's a 3-point gap, if I'm not mistaken, right? Because I'm looking at the table right now. I'm looking it up right now. Here, right? It's currently. So forget Arsenal right for a bit. Actually, no, we can talk about the Arsenal because Arsenal are currently on 68 points, right? That's
we are indeed.
That's 3 off of Manchester City, who drew, and you guys drew as well. I think if you guys do win your next game and they win the next game, you've secured second. I think it's over. Arsenal are pretty much 3 points away from finishing second. So
if we beat Newcastle next weekend, we finish second.
Yeah, you need to win that game. By the way, you need to win that game. It's a must. Arsenal to win.
It's a massive game, yeah.
Because there's currently a 6-point gap between second place and 7th place right now. Brentford, Brighton, Bournemouth, Fulham will battle it out for the Conference League places, right? But we looked at Forest, Villa, Chelsea, City, Newcastle, Arsenal, right? Arsenal 68, Newcastle 66, City 65. 63 Chelsea, 63 Aston Villa, 62 Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest with 1 win next week. City all of a sudden drop points, and it's all of a sudden Forest back in the top 5. Villa win, Villa back in the top 5. Chelsea beat United next week. That's them in the top 5. Because Villa are playing Spurs, I presume Villa win that game probably. We can preview that game on Thursday, Friday, right? Because those 2 games are massive for both teams. They're going to have to take points off of us to get Champions League places. And I don't see us beating Chelsea. I don't see Villa beating I don't see Spurs beating Villa. So we can look at that. Chelsea and Villa winning their games next Friday means they'll be on 66 points, level with Newcastle, above Man City, which means City will be outside the top 4 going into the weekend of the FA Cup final and having to play Bournemouth, right, who are battling for Europe, by the way, who are chasing Europe. That's going to be a tough game at home. That's going to be a very, very tough game at home. And we see what happened. And we see what Bournemouth did to Man City at the start of the year. We see what Bournemouth have done to City at the start of the year as well. They slapped City 2-0 or 2-1, I should say, right? And it's not going to be an easy game for Man City next week because they drop points to Southampton now. How are we looking at that Bournemouth game now? Is that not a guarantee anymore for Man City?
Well, I think it is. That might just be my relentless pessimism coming through, but I think City will get the job done. I mean, this is a club that have won 6 of the last 7 titles. Bournemouth, brilliant little side, beat City earlier on this season. Did the double over Arsenal, gave Liverpool a game out for vitality, but I don't think Bournemouth will pose enough of a threat in order to harm City on the day. So. We have a difference in opinions. You think they could get something out of it. I don't think they will. At the end of the day, if that's the beauty of football, we don't know. We only deal in hypotheticals. Let's hope it's a good game, and let's hope Bournemouth do get something to make the top 5 race even more interesting.
Because Newcastle are playing. Let me have a look at the fixtures next week. So next week, right? I'll look at the fixtures for next weekend. Yeah. Next weekend, obviously the FA Cup finals next weekend.
On the Saturday, yeah.
If City drop out of the Champions League and they win the FA Cup final, they're guaranteed Europa League. So pretty much they're guaranteed to go Europe next season anyways.
I think with the points they are guaranteed to Europe anyway, pretty much.
Yeah, they are guaranteed Europe. So Villa play Spurs on Friday. United play Chelsea on a Friday. Then we'll have West Ham playing at home to Forest. That's a big game for Forest, right? Brentford up against Fulham. That's a European battle because Fulham are currently 4 points off of Brentford, right, in 11th, but they still need to go for Europe. I still think Fulham can go for Europe. Jamie Vardy's. I'm not looking ahead to next week, right? But this is just a quick preview for next week. Jamie Vardy's 500 appearance for Leicester City could be at home to Ipswich, and I'm hoping he bags, and I'm hoping he scores a 200 goal on his 500 appearance.
So
I might actually watch that game, just for the sake of that alone. Just for the sake of
fair
that alone.
point.
He's leaving Leicester at the end of the season, so I might watch that one. Then you guys play on the Sunday. Sorry. You play after. Sorry, Arsenal Newcastle is right afterwards. That's a massive game for both teams competing for Champions League, right? Because one defeat could change everything. Brighton Liverpool, that game's done. That game's dead rubber, right?
I'm there.
City Bournemouth. That could be a really good game. That could be an interesting game because City need to win. Bournemouth need to win as well. Bournemouth are going for Europe. They need to win as well. They at least want to get the Conference League or Europa League, something like that. They want to try and get something, right? And then that's it. But I'm looking at the fixtures. City have Fulham on the last day. That should be easy for them. United have Villa, right? Newcastle have Everton at home. Forest have Chelsea. Bro, that's the last game of the season. Forest versus Chelsea. Champions League.
That could be a bell, so that could.
But I'm obviously going to watch my team play anyways. Southampton, Arsenal, I reckon you win that one comfortably.
Wait, after their performance against City, who knows?
No, but if you win against Newcastle next week, it's wraps. You've officially sealed Champions League.
Second. If we beat Newcastle, we finish second.
I think even if you get a draw, I still think you get second anyways. Because City are 3 points behind you, right? If you get a draw, that means City win their game. That means they're only 1 point behind you, and you can pretty much secure Champions League on the last day. It's done. So
yeah, exactly.
So
that's what I said in our group chat. Actually, just don't lose against Newcastle and then beat Southampton on the last day.
Yeah.
This will be without Rice and Timber as well, because both of them have been given extended holidays because they've put so much into this season with little rewards and their bodies are cooked. But anyway, we'll get on to that later.
If Forest were to win this game, yesterday, they would have been 2 points. Sorry, they'd have been 1 point behind Man City, a point ahead of Chelsea and Villa. A point ahead of Chelsea and Villa. 2 points behind Newcastle, 4 off Arsenal. So
can we just say,
Forest was massive.
Can we just say, fantastic from Leicester, yeah? Because they're already relegated, they've got nothing to play for, and they still turn up to their rivals' away ground and screws over their Champions League hopes. That's what football's all about. That's what rivalry's all about. So fair play to the Foxes there. I assume we're segueing into talking about that game as well.
Southampton as well, relegated side doing it.
Yeah, exactly. I assume we're going to talk about the Nottingham Forest Leicester game next.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just seeing who Ipswich played this past weekend. Oh, they played Brentford. Never mind. But Southampton did to Man City what Leicester did to Forest. Those two teams dropped points. The only teams that won this weekend that needed to win were Villa and
Newcastle.
That's it. And it's such a shame for such a shame for City. City is still in the Champions League places. Shame for Chelsea. Would you say it's a shame for Arsenal in a way? I wouldn't say so because you're still in second. I don't think it's a shame. It's a shame that what happened across the season, but yeah, it's a shame for Chelsea. It's a shame for Man City. That's it. That's all I can say. It's kind of a shame for Chelsea because Chelsea needed to win this game. I know they're fifth right now, but literally Villa are tied on points with them. So anything could change next week. If Villa beat Spurs, it's done. It could be done for Chelsea. Because yes, they could beat United, right? But going to the last day, look at who they're playing. Forest. And Forest away is not easy. People can talk about Forest away being a tough ground where, yes, they've not been in good form as of late. But if you talk about their recent run of games, Yeah, if you talk about what they need to on the last day, if they need to win this game, they could win it. Genuinely, they could go on and win it and be like, you know what, we're going to the Champions League next season. So it's massive for both those teams, man. But yeah, we'll talk about the which game you want to talk about now? Sorry.
We'll go over the Nottingham Forest Leicester game quickly and
I
what
didn't
happened afterwards. Yeah.
I didn't watch the game. Did you watch
Oh,
it?
fair enough. I did.
Go on, bro.
The it felt almost inevitable that Leicester would get something out of the game, even when Forest went 2-1 up. It just felt like maybe the Champions League is a step too far, and that's no discredit to Forest. They've been absolutely amazing all season, but I don't think they can help but feel disappointed after being third for so long. You know,
Yeah,
that's going to
they
be gut wrenching, isn't it?
they could
That's
get
going to be
conference.
absolutely gut wrenching.
They could get
So
conference league
yeah,
this season.
and for Nottingham Forest, like in 2025, that's still a massive achievement for them.
Yeah,
And they've got the squad to do serious damage in that competition
they
as
should
well.
have been. If we're being realistic, yeah, they should have been in the FA Cup final. With the chances they missed, they should have been in the FA Cup final. And
Well,
sorry, bro. Go
if
on.
buts and maybes, man.
It is
But
F. But yeah,
I think Chris Woods missed a couple of presentable chances. I think Forest, ironically, they got caught out on the counter for the second goal. And it was a good finish. I can't remember who the guy is called, but it was a good finish to make it 2-2. Leicester fans went berserk.
yeah,
And if anything, Leicester could have won the game. They had the better chances towards the end. Um, Forest, like I said previously, they're going to be disappointed if they don't finish in the top five. But it's still been a fantastic season for them regardless. You know, getting into Europe, getting to an FA Cup semi-final.
yeah.
They haven't progressed this far since Brian Clough was their manager, so fair play to them. Enjoy it. Nuno's an exceptional manager. We saw that at Wolves. And Spurs didn't give him enough time, and he's proving himself again.
That's big points drop for Forest, man, and obviously Leicester's season as a whole. We've seen how bad Leicester have been this season, right? But like
Yeah.
you see, a really good point about the rival ground thing because, like you said, the fact that you're going to your rivals. Yeah, last season United stopped Liverpool from winning the league. People can say whatever they want, but United did. All right, Liverpool were on an unbeaten run of games. Their first drop points in a long time was against United at Old Trafford. I saw that coming from a mile away because if you needed to stop your rivals from winning the league, that was one of the only positives I gave Eric Ten Hag last season. He stopped Liverpool from winning the league last year. Fair enough. That was one of the only positives I would have given him last season, right? And we did that, and you guys went top of the league, and it was pretty much like you went to the wire. It kind of went to the wire last season. But Liverpool dropping points last season against United was massive for them in the title hopes. Obviously, it's incomparable to Champions League. Stopping from getting Champions League, but Forest and Leicester are rivals. They're massive rivals. And the fact that Leicester went to Forest, a ground that I didn't expect Leicester to win. I'll be honest with you. I thought Leicester were going to get beat 4-1 or something like that. They're going to get slapped, right? But then they won. They got a point, and do you know what it is? It's a valuable point because at the end of the day, you kind of stop your rivals from getting Champions League football. Leicester City were one of the only teams in the Champions League last season. When they won the league, they made it to the Champions League in
Yeah.
2017. They made it to the Champions League. They knocked out Sevilla. They almost got past it. They almost got past Atletico, just almost. But it's a shame that obviously Leicester dropped. They drew the game against Atletico because they could have made the semifinals that year. But anyway, but back to what I'm saying here. Like, stopping your rivals from doing something is always a positive, even if you've had a crap season. And that's what we did last season. Stop Liverpool from winning the league. This year, Leicester stopped Forest from getting Champions League. Which other team is which other example I can take? I don't know.
Well, Spurs stopped Arsenal winning the title last year. It's a similar sort of comparison.
Kind of. You could pretty much say that. This year, United almost stopped City from getting Champions League because United beat City at the Etihad. Those 3 points counts to something. If City do lose next week, let's say they do, right? those United 3 points would have been so helpful for City not getting Champions League football, and the fact that they dropped points at Old Trafford as well. So United took 4 points off City this season out of a possible 6, even though we've had a crap season, right? Hopefully we do get Champions League football by winning the Europa League, but like I said, stopping your rival from doing something is always satisfying, even if you've had a horrible season. And it's happened plenty of times. I've seen it plenty of times before. Plenty of times. You know, I've seen it over the course of the years. Even if you've had a bad season, you've still been stopped from winning the league. United went to Liverpool and drew at Anfield in 2011, 2012, 1-1, right? That was the 2 points drop United needed to win the league. Your rivals played a part in it. So, like I said,
It makes the points so much more precious come from 38 games.
Yep. And I think you guys beat Spurs as well, if I'm not mistaken, in the 2016-17 season at the Emirates. Or you drew 1-1. I can't remember what it was.
Well, I think that was the season before when we robbed them at White Hart Lane, which sort of made us go into second place ahead of them. Doesn't mean much. We both qualified for the Champions League anyway and did nothing in it. But you know, it's always nice, isn't it? If there's nothing else, it's always nice.
Yeah. But anyways, like I said, it's always satisfying to see your rivals do something to stop you from winning the league or whatever it is, or stop you from doing something big. But anyways, on to the Forest Leicester. Forest, you made your points on the Forest Leicester game. You have you?
I don't have anything else to say about it. It's just I am kind of gutted that Nottingham Forest probably won't be in the Champions League next year because I think a club of their size and heritage deserve it.
It should be in the Champions League, especially when they won when the only English clubs win back-to-back Champions Leagues as well. When they're one of the only teams. Actually, they are well, Liverpool. I think Liverpool won back-to-back.
I think Liverpool won it twice in a row, then Nottingham Forest won it twice in a row, and then Liverpool won it twice in a row after that. So,
right.
Like English football was dominant in Europe, and then hey, so happened, and the less said about that, the better. But,
yeah. Brian Clough as well was the manager at the time.
Yeah, Brian Clough versus Bob Paisley. It's wonderful.
We will never see that again. Like in terms of regens and everything, you will never see a regen of Bob Paisley. You'll never see a regen of Brian Clough again. So we shall see. But I would like to see Forest back at the top again. So this is the start. If they do get Europe next season, they need to try and they need to try and get Europe. Sorry, go on.
No, sorry. I was about to say we know they've got an owner that will build on from that.
Yeah.
And take the hits from the PSR punishments and keep going, keep their squad competitive, and keep going for the top spots. And hopefully they do continue to do that because they're a massive club and deserve to be in Europe after so many years of suffering.
But with 2 games remaining, I think we can go next to Newcastle-Chelsea. Newcastle-Chelsea. Newcastle with a win. I saw the second goal. Huge deflection off of the Chelsea defender.
Colwell, I think it was.
I think it was. I don't remember who it was off. But deflection, 2-0. Newcastle got the all-important win, and they're literally 2 points off Arsenal now. What are your thoughts on that game? I didn't watch. I didn't watch much of Premier League footy, but I'm still here reviewing because it's what I do.
Fair enough. I saw the majority of the game. Oh well, no, actually, I saw the whole of the second half. I actually think Chelsea played really well. I think Chelsea played really well with 10 men. I think Maresca got his team talk spot on. They just didn't have any players. I mean, obviously, they weren't playing with a striker, were they? I think Palmer had to vacate in the middle. So naturally, they didn't have a target man. They didn't have a proper, natural, out-and-out striker up front, which was massively missing for them.
So Nicholas Jackson will miss start next season with a suspension, 1-game suspension.
Yeah. And that's actually quite a big miss as well, with Manchester United and Nottingham Forest as their last 2 games.
They'll still beat us anyways.
Yeah, well, we don't know at the end of the day. You might turn up. Amarim usually turns up against the big side. Genuinely.
Nah, we won't beat them. We have no given right to beat Chelsea next week. No given right to beat them next week.
Fair enough. But
Push how bad we've been.
Great win for Newcastle. Eddie Howe, yet again, doing a fantastic job. Even when he's under the shackles of PSR, He's still getting them performances week in, week out. He's still getting them to qualify for Europe. Champions League twice in 3 seasons. We know that Newcastle are the richest club in world football, but they're the only oil oligarch or whatever, so to speak, that actually complies with PSR rules to a full extent. So it's a great achievement for them if they do end up finishing in the top 5, which we think they will. They will. They'll get the job done. And I thought Isak was quite poor. I thought Reece James was quite good for Chelsea. I thought Caicedo was excellent, even though he should have been sent off. Yeah, he didn't even get a booking. But that's Caicedo week in, week out. He's a great player, but he's also a dirty little bastard. Yeah, genuinely. I thought Enzo played okay. But overall, great win for Newcastle. Fantastic win. I think Eddie Howe took a big risk taking off Anthony Gordon for Emil Kraft. But it paid off in the end. I thought he was going too defensive. Chelsea were getting too much of the ball. But at the end of the day, Newcastle scored the all-important second goal and got the crucial win. And they could finish second. They could easily finish second. I think a lot depends on that Arsenal game at the Emirates next week. I think whoever wins that will finish second. And if it's a draw, chances are Arsenal will. But at the end of the day, if there's any team that deserves to be second this season, I've got to admit it's not Arsenal or City. So Newcastle's through for you, mate. Go ahead.
Newcastle. Newcastle deserve Champions League football. I think for me, like they've just been on a roll ever since that Carabao Cup win. And people can be like, "Oh, but Newcastle going for top 4, like with that, with all that money spent." You know what I mean? Like, or whatever it is. Yeah, Newcastle. People talk about Newcastle spending money or whatever. They have all this money. They only get Champions League positions or whatever. Newcastle won the Carabao Cup. That's the aim, to win a trophy. People talk about Champions League football. They're like, I think Champions League football is like the be all end all for football, anyways. For me personally, right? It's not the be all end all for football. But Newcastle having spent money, have finally won a trophy, and that could be the first of many. So Newcastle have had a successful season. They've had a very, very successful season because this is their first trophy after 70 years, and people can belittle it all they like, but Newcastle have won a trophy over the team that won the Premier League in the final.
Exactly. Winning breeds confidence, Akavin. It's no coincidence that they pushed that they kick-started their top 5 charge after they won the League Cup. Because at the end of the day, it breeds confidence. And you're seeing that fully. So fair play to them. Obviously, they did look quite disjointed beforehand, especially with Gordon being out for the final, but they managed to win it anyway. And it looks as if they're going to get in the top 5 and maybe even second. So fair play to Eddie Howe and Jason Tindall and the rest of the Newcastle coaching staff. They've got a wonderful squad, brilliant players, even though I don't like them personally. And I think not a lot of people do, but they're good players regardless. Fair play. And it'll be interesting to see them in the Champions League phase next year.
Where do you see Eddie? Where do you rank Eddie Howe as a manager in the Premier League? Do you think he's up there with the best? Do you think he's got to be up there, or do you think he's overrated, slightly in the middle?
I think he's. Well, thing is, as an Englishman, I think I'm going to be a bit biased because we don't produce many good managers, and we haven't done since the 80s. So, yeah, I think he's up there with the best. I think at the end of the day, he's won Newcastle their first domestic trophy in 70 years. Up until this season, potentially, he guided Bournemouth to their highest ever league finish. The only reason he got relegated with Bournemouth was because they kept selling his best assets. So I think he does rank among the best. He's proven he can get over the line. He can produce consistent performances week in, week out. Full credit to him. Brilliant manager for me.
Top 5?
There's Guardiola, there's Slot, there's Unai Emery. I'm trying really hard to avoid Arteta because Eddie Howe classes Arteta in every single game we play, tactically and man managementally.
I agree.
Who else is there? Maresca, I'm not too convinced personally.
I'm not convinced by Maresca. Unless he wins this Conference League, I might be convinced because he kind of walked.
And obviously, Ruben Amorim, he's a great manager. He hasn't shown that at United, but he has shown with his previous employment, so to speak, that he is. But I will rank Eddie Howe in the top 5, no doubt. Brilliant manager.
I forgot you said English manager. Was the English manager was Fergie. Yeah. He's Scottish, not English, but British manager. Yeah, he's the greatest.
Yeah, we've had plenty of brilliant British managers.
He's
From
for me, he's the greatest manager in history of football. Forget just British. For me, he's the greatest manager in history of football. But
arguably, you've got Sir Alex Ferguson, you've got Matt Busby, you've got Jock Stein, you've got Brian Clough, you've got Bob Paisley, you've got Bill Shankly, you've got George Graham, you've got Herbert Chapman.
Johan Cruyff.
We've produced many brilliant managers for such a small island nation, but safe to say that talent's dried up over the last 30 odd years. But Eddie Howe is one of the few shining lights. So fair play.
Yeah, Johan Cruyff's also up there with like one of the greatest managers. I'm not talking just solely British, like just internationally. He's up there as well. Johan Cruyff's up there for sure.
Pardon?
Johan Cruyff.
Johan Cruyff.
He has to be up there.
I mean, in terms of British managers.
So what do you make of Ange after he wins the trophy? No, not for me. He did not prove it in England. Like, yes, we can say Europe second. Maybe if he does win the Europa League, hopefully he does not, because I'm a United fan. I do want United to win the Europa League, right? But in terms of if he does win it, right, he'll be. I wouldn't say he's up there in terms of just what he's done solely in England, but he's up there in terms of the achievements for sure. In terms of the achievements that the current managers that exist in the Premier League right now, I'd probably say he's up there in terms of just achievements, just not just English football, but outside of English football. So yeah, he could be. He would
prove that he does win stuff in the second season if he does beat you in the final.
Yeah, he does. He made the impossible dream possible. The first English, yeah, it is.
Was he? Do you consider the league if a football club wins the league and the Champions League, but wins the League Cup instead of the FA Cup, would you consider that a treble? Because Liverpool did that in 1984.
I wouldn't consider the original treble. Actually, Liverpool did not win the league. They won the. Liverpool did not win the. Did they win the Champions League that year?
It's 1984, I think. Yeah, they won the League Cup for First Division before it was called the Prem, and the European Cup. I think they beat Roma on penalties in the final.
People don't count the second domestic cup as part of a treble. They'll count it if it's a quadruple, but they won't count it as a treble. For some reason, I don't know why.
I don't get that logic, but I understand the FA Cup is more prestigious, so fair play.
For Spurs, the trophy means the world. Are you a Spurs fan, Timothy?
Well, no, hey. For an Arsenal fan, a trophy would mean the world's up a minute. But
oh yeah, 100%. You guys do need a trophy.
Yeah, but Spurs, I mean, imagine your first trophy in 17 years up against Manchester United. They could feasibly finish 17th and get into the Champions League. It's honestly a disgrace to the Europa League competition that two Premier League clubs, 16th and 17th, can potentially get into the Champions League. That is absolutely bonkers. But fair play to both teams, I suppose. At least you got there,
I hear it because obviously looking at the way Spurs have kind of, sort of fallen the season. Same with us. Looking at the way Spurs fell off the season, we all thought with the goal difference that Spurs had this year, they'd be up there one of those teams that get Champions League. People said Spurs were finishing top 5, top 4. I didn't see it. I never saw Spurs finishing in the top 10, in the top 5 this year. I said Spurs were finishing 8th, and to my surprise, they're in the bottom half of the table. To my surprise, I thought they'd be in the Conference League, at least Conference League position, but fair enough, they're in the Europa League final, potentially getting Champions League next season. Hopefully United do stop that, and I'm sure a lot of you fans out there are Chelsea, Arsenal.
It's a lose-lose situation, man, honestly. Because I don't want you happy, and I don't want Spurs happy. In terms of football, obviously, don't get it twisted.
No, of course. The FA Cup second most important trophy in the Premier League finds it as part of the impossible dream. Yeah, of course. I hear it. This is exactly what he means. The quadruple counts if they win the League Cup. Sure. But with the League Cup...
Akazin, quick question.
Yeah, go on, of course.
Do you consider the FA Cup a major trophy?
Yes.
Hey, Arsenal have won 5 in my lifetime. We've won 5 major trophies, baby.
It's the oldest cup in the history of football. Forget just it's older than the World Cup, bro. This is the oldest cup in the history of football, the FA Cup, and people want to disrespect it. Nah, I'm not having this. I'm
No.
sorry. The disrespect to the FA Cup is mad. I love
Absolute
the FA.
facts. Absolute facts.
I know we got knocked out to Leeds in 2010, but that was I'll always love the FA Cup. I always will. 2011, we should have won that FA Cup that year. Fuck Man City, man. Fuck Man City. That should have been our double, man. That should have been our League Cup and the
Potential
FA.
treble. If you managed to beat Barcelona in the final as well. But luckily that didn't happen.
It's not a disgrace. They both earned this from last year. That's how it works, regardless of results this year. Who are you talking about? Are you talking about Spurs?
No, he's on about me saying it's a disgrace that 16th and 17th are going to get into the Champions League.
Oh,
Honestly,
no.
man, I'm just thinking
I've been like this for a long time, to be fair.
honestly, man, how is that even possible?
If you had to give
Like,
who deserves it out of the two? You had to pick one
who
team.
deserves it?
Who deserves it more?
Honestly, you've had the tougher run, so fair play. Honestly, yeah, you've had the tougher run, so I'll give you that. It cannot compute, man. It cannot compute that one of United or Spurs after the season that
Financially,
they've had.
we deserve. If we come on from a financial perspective, United deserve it more. Financially, like United should be in the Champions League financially. If we're just talking solely based off of Tottenham, like Tottenham have done us 3 times this season already, and yes, that's not the be all. That's not going to define the season. It's this game that's going to define who's been the better team. Because let's just be honest with you, it's the final.
All I'm saying is, if Champions League teams drop down into the Europa League, I highly doubt we'd see a Spurs versus Man United final. That doesn't mean Man United wouldn't have got there. That doesn't mean Spurs wouldn't have got there. But neither of those two teams would have got to the final. I don't think.
I don't think we deserve to be in the Champions League. Even Tottenham don't deserve to be in the Champions League. I'll be honest with you, but only one team can make it. So
Yeah, exactly.
we shall see on that one. But we'll preview that one when it comes closer to the final. I'll preview a lot with the United fans. I'll get some United fans to preview that game. Hopefully United do get the win. But like I said, man, just do the job. We won the FA Cup, and we qualified Arsene Wenger. Oh, just don't like us, no offense. Oh yeah. We won the FA Cup last year to qualify for the Europa League. Could get us Champions League football. That's mad.
That is so scummy, man. Come on, that's brilliant. That honestly, almost brilliant.
Bro, we've been awful in the league, yeah, and imagine we still get Champions League out of all this.
That is the most shameless thing ever. I can't lie. Imagine that. You were one competent promoted team away from being in a serious relegation scrap.
There's gonna be 6,
and you're still getting into the Champions League. It is absolutely insane.
There's gonna be 6 clubs in the Champions League next season.
6 English clubs. Well.
6 English clubs in the Champions League next season. Yeah.
Well, with the amount of financial backing the Premier League has, that should be the norm. But you know.
Yeah, it should be. But the fact that the European places opened up, right? Otherwise, there would have been 5. And depending on who wins the Champions League, it could have been 6 anyways. Even if an English club would have won the Champions League and an English club wins the Europa League, so that would have been 6 teams, including the top 5. Actually, top 4, 5. Yeah, okay, yeah. If there was no 5th place, an English club wins the Champions League. That's 5. An English club wins the Europa League. That's 6 teams. So 6 teams are allowed to qualify for the Champions League. Actually, a maximum of 7 teams can qualify for the Champions League. A maximum of, I think, 7 teams qualify, because even if a team outside the top 4 wins the Champions League, right? Let's say Villa were to win the Champions League, right? And they finish 7th. And the top 5 stays as it is, and United win the Europa League. That's 7 teams in the that's 7 English clubs in the Champions League. So this league phase thing has kind of opened up slots for teams to get Champions League. The coefficient rule, I think, is you think it's a bit too much, the coefficient rule? You think it's a bit too lenient toward English clubs, or
well, if you're on about leniency in terms of the league phase, I do think like all this playoff stuff is nonsense anyway. I think it should be the teams that finish in the top 16 progress to the round of 16. Like, I think it should be very simple. I don't get. Well, I understand why they do the playoffs. It's for the revenue and all that shit. But at the end of the day, it just doesn't seem as productive. You're just putting players at risk with unnecessary games. Genuinely. And
top finance is definitely fair.
yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say on that.
Guess what? You're shit, bro. We're both shit. It's destiny for Ange, bro.
Are you
Ange
Spurs fans
is
then?
not okay. I don't care if he beats us in the final yet. Ange has not done well at Spurs at all. He's not done well at Spurs at all.
Akevin, for the fact that if he does deliver Spurs their first trophy in 17 years, their first European trophy since 1982, if I'm not wrong.
Then he's a
That's
much
massive, anyway. That's massive. Come on.
one day
You've got to give him his props for that.
since one day Ramos, and they sacked one day Ramos as well.
Yeah, their first European trophy since 1982, if I'm not wrong, Tim. But
Spurs
yeah, I'm sorry, and he deserves all the credit if he wins that because he's been vilified by that fan base all season,
would
and
you say
some of it self-inflicted. But I think he deserves to bow out with a trophy, if anything. So
fair enough?
history.
Would you say that he's more successful than Arteta if he wins the Europa League because he gets the
Well, that's fairly obvious, isn't it?
he gets the better reward for the Champions League.
I'd say he is. I don't know if you're waiting for Tim's response in the chat, but at the end of the day, it's a European trophy, and he's got Spurs from 17th to the Champions League. That's magical. That is. He has to be considered as. I don't know about Spurs legends, but he's got to be in their history books without a doubt.
Got to be.
He would be. So, yeah, man. Honestly, just I like Ange as a person. I've liked him ever since he accused Spurs fans of wanting to lose against City. I mean, if I was an Arsenal fan in that position, I'd want the same thing. But regardless, I like the fact that he called the fan base out on that.
Yeah.
And if he does win a trophy, fair play to him. But then again, if you're not winning, like you're both there on merit at the end of the day, so there's not much else to say. Yeah.
Bournemouth, Aston Villa. We'll go to next.
I didn't see the game. I didn't see that.
I'll just quickly give a quick recap then, I guess. So I didn't watch the game. I'll give a quick recap. Bournemouth 0, Aston Villa 1. Like that for me is a massive result for Villa going to next week. 63 points, like I said, level with Chelsea, and they need to beat and they need to win against Spurs next week. They need to win. They need to win that game, and they'll be one. And them and Chelsea, you guys, I think Chelsea will beat us as well. Will be one of the first teams to be to be above Man City. So if Villa and Chelsea win, Chelsea will go above City. Villa will go above City as well, going to the weekend. And Forest, if they win, they'll be level on points with City before the final. That could mean a lot. That could mean a lot for teams that are competing for Champions League, especially putting the pressure on Man City before they even play the cup final. But I don't think the cup final will bother them. It's more the Champions League game. I think they win the cup final. But yeah, I don't really have much to say on this one. Just big win for Villa and Bournemouth. Good season so far. I think they've had a decent season. They can still get Europe. I want to see them in Europe. Iraola is a good manager, a very good tactician, good football manager. So we'll see.
Great win for Villa with 10 men as well.
Yeah, 10 men. Any other games left to talk about? We spoke about Palace Forest 1-1. We spoke about the. Oh no, sorry, not Palace Forest. We spoke about the. I guess you could talk about the Liverpool Arsenal game, and then we can.
Yeah. Well, I was very tempted. To switch the TV off after 21 minutes, but I stuck with it. That was terrible. That was. I think our season was summed up when Partey tackled. I think it was Van Dijk in the box, and 3 different Arsenal players ran into each other, and completely pissed away the chance. That is our season summed up.
Yeah, I hear it.
And then Liverpool go on and score. Obviously, Robertson, you saw me complaining about how he had his arms around Saka's neck. I don't understand how the ref didn't see that, but Liverpool score from it. That's another nice little summary of our season, that Liverpool scored from that. And then, obviously, they made it 2-0 straight away. It was absolutely shocking defending. Saliba, you've been absolute dog shit for the last month. And we were lucky to keep it 2-0. to Liverpool at half time.
I think Liverpool
Arteta obviously gave them a message. Martinelli playing as a striker for the first time since the Emery era, and he bagged straight away right after half time. Brilliant Trossard cross. Lewis Skelly, fantastic performance up against Salah. And then Marino with a great equaliser. Odegaard's one of the only times he's put his foot through the ball. And then obviously Marino ends up getting sent off. That's our 6th red card this season. You just can't do that. You just can't do that if you have any ambition of winning the league title. You cannot have 6 people sent off in separate games in the season. Liverpool should have won it. Trent with that free kick just past the post. Robertson with an absolute sitter that he missed, and obviously Robertson in the last minute as well. Canate fouling Lewis Skelly. Odegaard should have put us 3-2 up. I don't know why he didn't pass to Zinchenko, but he shot it just past the post. I say it's a good, like a point at Anfield. It's never a bad result, is it? But especially when you're 2-0 down. But Arteta, I don't know if you saw his post-match interviews or press conference, but he was really fucked off with that first half, and he wasn't happy with getting a point whatsoever. And I'm thinking, why are you making the player? Why are you putting accountability onto the players when it's too late? Why aren't you calling them out when we've got something on the line to play for?
Yeah.
Why are you having a go at them now? But I did still agree with what he said. It was an absolutely shocking first half. But hey, not many teams can be 2-0 down at half-time to Liverpool and live to tell the tale. So fair play to the lads. It was a very big point actually in our quest to finish second again. And as long as we do the job against Newcastle, we'll be confirmed second. As long as we don't lose against Newcastle, we should be safe for second. Like I said, a point at Anfield is never a bad result, but I'll let you take it away now.
But at least this time you actually challenge. This time you're actually challenging for second. Last time you challenged for the league titles, the last 2 times. This time you're challenging for second place actually, which is crazy to even think about. Considering 2 years of, challenging for the league, you should be going for the league title this year. But we all know
this was meant to be a title decider.
It was, and it completely spoiled it. Surely second is no better. Yeah, it is not. It is not, Timothy. Facts. It's not, bro. I've always said this, bro. Second is no better than winning a trophy. Facts. I would much rather, like Timothy, bro. I'd much rather be where we are and win the Europa League than get second and win fuck all. Like literally, I would. I'll take a trophy right now from where we are right now, and rather than finish second and win fuck all, because I'm tired of just finishing Champions League places and not winning trophies with it. Because it happened way too many times in my lifetime, and I don't like to see it. I'd much rather win the Europa League to get back into the Champions League if it meant we were in the Europa League. I don't want to compete for top 4 if that's the case. Get some trophies, win some trophies. It's a good collection to your trophies. You can talk about all the medals that teams have put out this season. Lay your medals on the table, and we can talk about all at the end of the season. You know what I'm saying? Who's won this? Who's won what? Newcastle will lay out their Carabao Cup medal. Liverpool will lay out their Premier League medal. City or Crystal Palace will lay out the FA Cup medal. It's still the finals not happening. United or Spurs could lay out the Europa League medal. Chelsea could lay out their Conference League.
Will lay out their Conference League medal.
Well, Betis are a decent side, so we'll never know for sure. But I reckon Chelsea will win. But there's 7 teams this season potentially. There's 7 English clubs this season that could potentially win a trophy. There's still 4 trophies up for grabs. The FA Cup's still up for grabs. The Europa League's still up for grabs, and the Conference League's still up for grabs. The Carabao Cup's been won, the Premier League's been won, right? We don't count Community Shield, unfortunately. I wish it did count, because I like those games still. Even if Community Shields don't count, I still like those games. Good curtain raise at the start of the season, because I always like to beat your rivals at the start of the year to win those games. But even then, like I said, already 2 teams can lay out their medals and say we've won this, we've won that, right? One team, there's still 2 teams competing for the FA Cup, still 2 teams competing for the Carabao Cup. The Europa League. One is compete with the Conference League. So, still, four English Cups in it to win. Sorry, five English Cups in it still to win a trophy. Five. So it's been a decent run in terms of trophies this season for English clubs. However, the competition in England has not been great this season. I'll be honest with you, it's been really poor. Just solely the league. The league's just been completely poor. Like just not because Liverpool won the league. It's just like the rest of the league is just so far behind. Only thing to look forward to right now is the race for Europe, and the relegation battle's settled. The league title is settled. So only the race for Europe is what we can talk about really in these next two shows. So in these next two shows coming up, so this Friday and and next weekend, the following weekend after that, we'll be talking about the the race for Europe still. So do stay tuned in for that if you are interested in that. But back to this one anyways. Five teams still within a chance to win a trophy, so it's not up for grabs. But like I said, lay out your trophies, lay out your medals at the end of the season, see who's won what, and then we can discuss who's had a more successful season, right? And this is fact from Timothy as always. Fact, yeah, it is fact from Timothy, man. Yeah, second is no better than winning a trophy. Facts. But continue with the Liverpool Arsenal game, man. I just wanted to.
Oh, well, I did allude to the fact that Rice and Timber are going to be out for the rest of the season earlier. Obviously, that's going to be a massive miss for Newcastle, but they deserve it. Timber, off the back of an ACL, has had to play nearly every game. After Ben White had to do pretty much the same thing last season, he had to play with an injury throughout, which I think says more about our manager and medical team than it does about the players. But anyway, so we're going to be missing them both. Trossard is also injured for the Newcastle game, so we will probably see Sterling on the wing. I would rather it was Wanyeri, but this manager seems to not want to play Wanyeri at all. So, you know, I can't see his way of thinking, but there we are. Yeah, man. Liverpool, obviously, they were semi on the beach. That assist record seems to be cursed to this day because Salah needed 3 more assists in 10 games to do it. And I think he still needs 3 more assists in 2 more games now. And he's got Brighton up next, away at the Amex, which I will be there for. So it's not going to be easy at all. Yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say on Liverpool. They've already won the league. We know how good they are as a team. For Arsenal, there's a few major casualties going into the Newcastle game, which puts a serious damper on our chances if it hadn't already. Yeah, there's not much else to say, really. At the end of the day, to come back from 2-0 down to draw 2-2 at Anfield, it's never a bad result. So, fair play to the lads for that. But where was that fight for the majority of the PSG game, especially the first leg?
Yeah,
It's when it matters most, Akifan. And I told you for the last week I would not be surprised if we did win this game at Anfield because the pressure would be off. But hey ho, what can we do? And Lewis Skelly, yeah, he did end up clapping the Guards of Honor, but only a little bit. And I just want to say, I fucking love this guy, man. Honestly, I honestly don't think that Ashley Cole was as good as he is at 18. I genuinely don't think he was. Obviously, I didn't see Ashley Cole play, but like this kid, I mean, the PSG second leg is the only time where he's looked out of his depth somewhat. The PSG second leg. I mean, he's been absolutely fantastic all round. And if there is one positive I can take from this season,
yeah.
it is Lewis Skelly. It is Lewis Skelly. He is a fantastic little player, and I love him. And he got Liverpool fans rattled. I mean, that's always fun. Even though he did actually clap, but
Yeah.
never mind.
And Ethan Ranieri as well. Gotta give credit to him as well.
Ethan Wanyeri as well.
17.
But I do feel like injuries are the reason why Arteta's played them. Because if Saka wasn't injured, and if Calafiori wasn't made of glass, if Tomiyasu wasn't made of glass, Wanyeri and Lewis Skelly, they wouldn't have half of the appearances they do now. So in a way, injuries have been good for us in terms of emerging new talent. But yeah, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to him because he had Salah in his pocket for the majority of the game, and he's such a wonderful talent. And I'm looking forward to see where he ends up. Hopefully, he does end up with a few medals around his neck by the end of his career, because a player of his confidence, borderline arrogance, and his ability deserves it.
But like I said, shout out to you, Timothy. Yeah, big up to you, bro. This is facts again. Um, Unfortunately, it is the way because I wish we'd done better in the league. I wish United and Tottenham would have done better in the league. Honestly, it'd have been a much better competition. But listen, the Europa League is the be all end all right now for us. Yep, big up to you, Jack. Big up to you, bro.
Cheers, Jack.
But you done with this game? We can move on to the next game now.
Yeah, just it's. I'll leave it on this. I point at Anfield. It's never usually a bad result, is it? So.
I'm actually not going to talk about United. I've done a whole almost 2 hour rant on the United.
Did you see Ugasi for the second goal?
Embarrassing.
It reminds me of Kivior when we lost 3-0 to Brighton a few seasons ago. Bro, we decided to do the knee mid-match.
Ugarte is crap, and I've been saying this, he's crap. So just sign a better defensive midfield this summer, man. Please, I'm tired. I'm already tired of him already. Genuinely, I don't like him right now. But anyways, United. I've spoken about United on the show today. Shout out Rasta in the chat. I literally told Rasta, bro, let's just do a show, United show, and so randomly we ranted about United, and it was my most viewed stream of YouTube. So big up to everyone for the support on that show. Like I said, and make sure you guys, if you haven't done so, watch it, like, share, and subscribe on the subscribe to the channel. But yeah, we're gonna move on to. I'm actually gonna talk about the El Clasico because I watched that.
Yeah, fair play.
It was a 4-3 classic.
What game?
Classic. As obviously being on the side of Real Madrid, I didn't like Ancelotti's substitutions. I didn't like the rotations because Rodrigo should have played. Rodrigo really, really, really should have played because personally, for me, you're taking up Vinicius Jr., right? Who's not had a good season at all this year, in my opinion. He's had an absolutely terrible season.
Not since the Ballon d'Or thing fiasco.
No, he should not be. Not, but he should have won last year, in my opinion, personally. Should have been him last year, personally.
Rodri should have won it in 2023.
Yeah, I agree.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's no Messi bias before Agassier gets his little knickers in a twist. You know?
Yeah. He always does that, doesn't he? He always does that.
He does indeed.
But anyways, the El Clasico, Ancelotti screwed this game over for Real Madrid, man. He brought on a kid, yeah. Fair play to the kid, yeah. I'm not dissing him, yeah. But the kid missed a one-on-one opportunity to equalize into the game, late into the game. Where's Rodrigo in that moment? He sat on the bench. Is he trying to be forced out? Is he trying to, is he gone at Real Madrid? Because
he has been linked to Arsenal, actually.
If he's leaving Real Madrid, I will actually. I forgot to ask you, and I will ask you just quickly after this, yeah. And I'll get back to the Champions League. I'll get back to the El Clasico. Did you watch the El Clasico?
No, I've seen a few of the highlights, but I haven't watched a great I haven't watched a great amount.
I'm not a massive fan of Barcelona, personally, just in general, but I have to big them up because what a performance, honestly. Just Barcelona in general, just watching the way they play, Hansi Flick, bro, he's an incredible manager. He is an incredible manager. And he deserves that new contract that Barca are offering him right now. He deserves it. He might even win the league next year again.
I would not be surprised.
With Xabi Alonso coming in, I don't see him as the best manager in the league. You can maybe argue Ancelotti is still the best manager in the league, even if Hansi Flick's there right now. I still think Ancelotti is the best manager in the league, right? But you're going from Ancelotti to Xabi Alonso, right? I'm not trying to put pressure on Xabi Alonso. I want to see him do well, right? And I'm sure a lot of people do as well. Because he's a good young manager. That's what a lot of fans like nowadays. A good young manager with a fresh brain, fresh ideas. That's what a lot of young lads like nowadays. But the game in general is just the rotations and substitutions. Arda Güler without being brought on, I think Arda Güler is gone. I think Rodrigo might be gone. Like if this is the way that they're being thrown on the bus, their fortunes at Madrid are done. Unless the new manager wants to come in and change that. Because Brahim Diaz got minutes over Arda Güler yesterday. I don't know why. I don't know why he played over Arda Güler yesterday. Arda Güler should be the one in the team. But Brahim Diaz getting almost a full game, it baffles me. And also, you got to look at that missed chance at the end, right? Mbappe missing a couple chances as well, but he scored a hat-trick, so can't fault Mbappe really. Vinicius Jr., poor game, even though he got the assist for Mbappe. Like, just all around poor from Real Madrid. And Barcelona came back 4 goals to come back. People telling me that that mentalities. People want to diss mentality of Barca, yeah, bro. That mentality right there, fucking unbelievable. I know they lost to Inter in the week, but that was unbelievable. That was a great comeback for Barca, being 2-0 down in the first half and scoring 4 goals in like the space of 10, 15 minutes or something like that. Fair play to Barca. Honestly, just a great team, great footballers. Rafinha on one wing, Lamine Yamal, absolute stud of a player. You've got players like what else am I talking about? Balde, who came back, Pedri, bro, really, really, really good Barcelona players, honestly. And that team is young. If you want to talk about a proper youth project, that right there is a proper youth project. That what Barcelona are doing is a proper youth project. Paul Kubarsi, Pedri, Gavi, Lamine Yamal. Who else is there? Fermin
Do you say
Lopez.
Kibasi?
Yeah, I would. He's top. He is top.
Top player.
Who's the leading candidate for the Ballon d'Or? I don't know. Probably Salah, because Salah's got the goals and assists, but I don't see Salah winning it.
Would you say Ousmane Dembele has a chance, especially if PSG win it?
He's got to win. If PSG win, he's got to win it. If
Messi will probably win it for winning the World Cup in 2022. So.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, come
on. But which player in Inter has got the most PR that can get over the line? Lautaro Martinez, I guess.
I guess so. I think Dumfries has a shout as well for that semi-final 2-legged performance alone. That was insane.
I don't think Dumfries has the PR over Bastoni, over Barella. Barella is very, very good though.
Barella's a shout.
Pedri and Barella are the 2 best midfielders in the world right now.
What about Jan Sommer performance? Don't let that go unnoticed either.
And we almost signed him over Onana in 2021.
They replaced Onana with €6 million Jan Sommer.
Yeah, he's top. And the Champions League final with Acerbi at the back. Acerbi, who's a late age, right? People can talk about, but players are washed at 30. What's that? The Champions League final, Acerbi. How old is he? Like 40 years, almost 40 now? Big up to Acerbi, man, in the Champions League final.
With that hat-trick, Mbappe has overtaken Di Stefano with the Real Madrid player to score the most goals in a debut season as well.
Is he the first Real Madrid player to score a hat-trick in the El Clasico for, how long now? Because Ronaldo never scored one. Ronaldo never scored a hat-trick in the El Clasico.
R9, did he?
I don't remember.
For either side?
I don't remember. Somebody in the chat remind me, because I need to be educated on this. And apologies for the lack of knowledge on this one, but I need to.
But yeah. Hey, Mbappe, everyone clowns on him for having a poor season, but he's still got 39 goals. The most by a Real Madrid player in their debut season in Real Madrid's history.
Donnarumma must be very impressive as well, but I'm not talking about goalkeepers. I don't think goalkeepers have a good chance of winning Ballon d'Or in today's day and age. Unless you're like Lev Yashin, bro. Lev Yashin was insane, wasn't he? So, but anyways, back to Inter. I think you got to look at maybe Barella, Lautaro Martinez, or Bastoni. Maybe one of them 3 could win it if Inter win the Champions League. If we're talking PSG, Ousmane Dembele for sure.
Rafinha deserves his flowers as well.
He does for sure.
He does. There's no doubt about that. His Champions League campaign, although the sides weren't necessarily the top in Europe, he still had to do the job, and he still did the job. So.
And making the jump from Leeds to Barcelona as well is a massive jump. Like it's a massive jump going from Leeds to Barcelona. Fair play to Rafinha. Like honestly, you got to give credit to him where it's due.
It takes a special character to overcome like the nerves and whatnot.
Yeah, And he struggled in his first year. I think he struggled. I think he was linked to the move away and so from Barca. So like he turned everything around. Fair play to Hansi Flick. Got the best out of a player like Rafinha. He's a top player now.
Hmm. And
But
obviously, Lamine's a shout as well. At the age of 17 or 18 now.
I don't see Lamine winning it this year, but Lamine can
No,
win it
not
next
this
year.
year, but he will. He will win it. There's no doubt.
Not 100%. If he can stay healthy like this for a long time in his career, we just gotta hope injuries do not prolong his do not ruin his how do you call it?
Career.
Do not ruin his career or whatever it is. Yeah. But back to the El Clasico. Yeah, Ancelotti's been poor, man, in El Clasicos this year. Got beaten in all four El Clasicos this year, all four. So it's just been poor from Real Madrid this year, and Ancelotti's gone to Brazil, so it's confirmed he's leaving. You might as well stay. You might as well stay to the end of this year. You might as well say goodbye to the Madrid fans in the next game or so. Might as well say goodbye. And Barca 1 game away from winning the league, so pick up.
Yeah, I think if Real Madrid lose to Mallorca, is it? Then Barcelona have
Even,
officially won it.
even if Real Madrid win, Barca win, it's over.
Yeah, so
Pretty much over.
fair play
So
to
yeah,
Barcelona. I predicted as soon as Hansi Flick came in, they're going to win it.
yep.
And
And
despite a brief blip in the season in terms of their league form, they've bounced back with flying colours. Brilliant mentality, by the way. I don't know how they keep going. Like in England, you'd hear all this about fatigue and whatnot, but not with Barcelona.
Barca have been down to so many games this year as well. Don't forget they were down to Mallorca. I think they were down to Las Palmas. They've been down in so many games and they've fought back. So fair play to Barcelona. This team has the grit and grind to not give up. So big up to them, man. Honestly, yeah, big up to you, bro. Big up to you, Timothy. But anyways, back to El Clasico. Yeah, poor from Real Madrid, and look, Ancelotti's gonna go. So we'll see.
What do you
Xabi
make
Alonso
of Xabi Alonso as a replacement?
as a as an outsider looking in, as a United fan looking to Real Madrid, obviously I got respect for Real Madrid. Like in La Liga, Real Madrid is my team. So I'm looking at Xabi Alonso. Like, you know what? It's a good appointment for now. He's got a 3-year contract. He's got Trent joining him next season. He already has a right back sorted. Now he needs a left back. He's got to bring in some good players. He's got to bring in some players, and I think Real Madrid have a really good team. Even if
They have the best
even
man-to-man
if
squad in
even
the
if the
world.
chemistry doesn't look like it's there, it depends on what he does with Rodrigo. It depends on what he does with Arda Güler and certain players. But yeah, um, Carlos bringing Casemiro back to the national team. Hey, listen, Casemiro needs to go back to Brazil for the World Cup. He needs to. Neymar and Casemiro need to be in that Brazil team for the World Cup. That Brazil team, talent-wise, name-wise, is nowhere near. So they need to bring the experienced head into the team, man. So Casemiro needs to go into the team. Neymar needs to go into the team. But there's another game I just want to quickly just mention. I'm not going to talk about it. Benfica Sporting 1-1 with 1 game to go, and going to the last day.
Level and points.
Level on points, goal difference not level. Both teams they drew 1-1 against at Benfica. Sporting on top of the league with the chance to win the league. I hope Sporting wins. That's all I can say.
Is that because of the Ronaldo connection?
Yeah, it is a Ronaldo connection. That's why.
Bloody hell.
Ronaldo, Nani, yeah.
I'm hoping it's Sporting. So if we do sign Gyökeres, we've got a proven winner up front.
That's true, but you did sign Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah, well,
And Zinchenko.
well, it's no coincidence that since we signed Manchester City players that had experienced that, we ended up challenging for titles.
Yeah, that's true.
There's like CVs matter in football to a great extent. So, and with
100%.
Havertz, I mean, say what you want about Havertz, but he popped up in the biggest game in club football, and he was our best player during the title running last season. So,
Even though you don't rate him that much.
I don't race him, but at the end of the day, if you've got a proven CV, you're gonna, chances are you're gonna do your job to the best of your ability you can. There's no doubt about that.
And also you gotta look at and also you gotta look at this. right? In terms of just like winning league titles, right? Arsenal have not won it, but they're definitely challenged with players who are experienced winning league titles. Gyökeres would be good. He's won the league last year with Sporting already, so you can already pretty much say he's won. He's already had pedigree winning the league, right? We brought in their manager. United brought in their manager. Well, he hasn't proven that yet. So we shall see next season how it works. But who else? Are you? Do you want Zinchenko and what you call Gabriel Jesus out? What do you want him to stay?
Um, honestly, like they both bring their benefits, but they are squad players now. Honestly, I haven't given much thought to it. I I'd I wouldn't mind having them around. I think Zinchenko can be very useful as the lefty, and Jesus he can play anywhere across the front three. So I think it would be logical to keep them. Um, hopefully Jesus comes back from his ACL injury better than ever, but I highly doubt that's going to happen. Um, he started to look good this year until his ACL against United, which I maintain is the worst Arsenal game this season, probably after PSG away. Um, when we get to the end of the season, we'll talk about our respective clubs, like the best games, the worst games, and all that. That'd be quite fun. But
Yeah, we should.
I would
Hopefully,
love to do that.
hopefully we win Europa, so I can talk about that.
Don't man. Why did it have to be Spurs in the final, man? Fuck's sake. But anyway, I completely forgot what I was talking about there.
No, you're talking about,
Zinchenko and Jesus.
but
At the end of the day, they've got the experience to get over the line. So, and with the fact that Zinchenko can play in the left side, with the fact that Jesus can play anywhere across the front three, I think it would be more beneficial to keep him.
but I also want to ask you. Yeah, I forgot to ask you. Obviously, with Martin Zubimendi joining Arsenal next season. Joan Garcia close. Andrea
Well,
Berta good so far to Arsenal. Sorry, what?
oh no, I was about to say sorry. For interrupting. It's Berta is not keen on spending so much money on another goalkeeper. He is prioritising attacking signings. Apparently, according to Ornstein, we are definitely getting a winger this window.
You need a
I'd
wing.
love, yeah, I'd love that to be Rodrigo. Um, like I said, I'll quickly go over my ideal transfer window.
He's the
This
left
would
wing.
be my dream transfer window, which would never happen. Gyökeres, Rodrigo, Florian Wirtz, and Hato from Ajax, alongside Ryan Garcia. But
Never happen.
that's not going to happen. Um, Zubimendi, Ornstein said earlier today that if Arsenal don't offer Partey a new contract, Arsenal will go out to get a replacement midfielder, which leads me to believe that Zubimendi is taking over from Jorginho's role. Maybe he'll start games, but in terms of being in the squad, he'll replace Jorginho like, as the number
Yeah.
20. Um, so I don't know, man. We need to prioritize offensive signings, but we've already spent 60 million on the release clause of a defensive midfielder. Whenever I've seen him, he hasn't looked too good. I think Sociedad they lost 4-0 to Atletico at the weekend with off scoring 4 goals, so he evidently didn't play too well there. Um, uh, it, it's not a signing to get you excited. Joan Garcia apparently he's a brilliant goalkeeper, but I haven't seen him at all. Apparently he's amazing. If we bring him in, and he's taller than Raya, so we should be able to save some of the goals Raya's let in. But irrespective of that, I don't I don't see how that closes the 15-point gap on Liverpool. I just don't see it. How would it? If Zubimendi was in Arsenal's midfield, would we have got past PSG? No, we wouldn't have done. So I can't get too excited. If we sign Gyökeres, yeah, I'd be more excited because he would have buried one of the chances we created at the Parc des Princes. But with Zubimendi, I just don't have that optimism.
Fair enough. I don't think Zubimendi is the finished article for Arsenal. You still need a striker. You still need a left winger, and you need an
We
attacking
need
midfield.
another winger for Saka backup.
And you might need a backup left back as well. I think.
We had 4 left backs on the pitch against Liverpool, by the way.
Sorry?
We had 4 left backs on the pitch against Liverpool, by the way. 5 if you count Kivior, 6 if you count Saka.
Kivior is not a left back in my opinion. He's not a left back. He's
He's
more
played
of a
more. He's played more games at left back for us than he has centre back.
fair enough. But Ben White was a centre back as well. And he played right.
Yeah, touche.
But even then, like Gerald, you wanted Gerald Hato, you wanted and he can play left back. He can play centre back. Do you think Saliba's leaving? Do you think Saliba's gone at the end of the season? Or do you think he's
a player of his talent deserves to not waste his career at this club. But obviously, for us to win trophies, we're going to need him because he is such a good player, even though he has been poor the last month. I think it is obvious that he is missing Gabriel, because Gabriel, for me, is our best centre-back. I think Saliba will leave eventually. I think even he'd get tired. He was an Arsenal fan. Like, he's been an Arsenal fan his entire life. It'll break his heart. He's already said that he doesn't want to leave until he wins trophies here. At the end of the day, if he's nearing his 30s, and we still haven't won anything, then he's going to leave.
Saliba?
So, yes, Saliba.
Right.
He said that he's not going to leave Arsenal until he wins major trophies with us. But he meant that as in he always wants to stay here and all that, all that crap.
I hear it. But good start for Berta. Good start for Andrea Berta, Arsenal. Good start.
Well, you can't get any worse than Edu, can you? So after this stream, I'll send you a screenshot of what I made after the summer transfer window closed, because I prophesied this entire season. By the way, I prophesied this entire season in terms of going without silverware and struggling in attack and all that. But Andrea Berta, he's proven at Atletico Madrid. If he can make his mark with Simeone at the club, he can bitch Arteta like a little dog. So, and I think Arteta needs disciplining. You've seen over the last month, and I think Carragher pointed out on Sky Sports, over the last month, Arteta's been getting a lot more touchy in his press conferences. I think he is starting to feel the pressure himself, because even the mainstream English media, that are hardly renowned for having high standards, are even starting to say Arsenal are going on 6 years without a trophy now. Why is Arteta being backed to this extent?
He also has a track record of spending 680 million in net spend, I think, for Atletico Madrid, if I'm not mistaken.
Which is less than Arteta at Arsenal. So.
And he's done well with Atletico. He's won 2 league titles with them, or 3 league titles with Atletico. So
two league titles, 2 Champions League finals. Unlucky not to win both, if not for Ramos and for Griezmann's penalty miss. But yeah, I'm really happy that we got Berta. I remember being excited that we got Sven Mislintat back in around 2018. He has one transfer window, then he fucks off. I really hope Berta doesn't do the same. We need him. We genuinely need him.
He had a good transfer window as well, that guy.
Sven Mislintat. He brought us Torreira. He did bring us Leno. He brought us Guendouzi, who Arteta bombed out for no reason.
They were good players, man. Guendouzi was also a good player as well for you guys. Honestly, you guys didn't have. They weren't bad signings in my opinion.
No, they were decent players, but I think Emery spent about 60 million or 80 million, which just isn't enough. It isn't enough if you're going to get back into the top 4 like we needed to then. But Berta, I really hope he doesn't leave early. I'm very excited for what he does during the window, and I hope that is the guys that put pressure on Arteta to the extent where, unfortunately, he's going to be here next season. If you don't deliver silverware, you're out. And I think Berta has the professionalism. I think he has the experience to be put in that position of putting Arteta in pressure.
I hear it, but the United West Ham game, like I said, I've already done a whole show on that. I've already done a whole show on the United rant and everything. First loss against West Ham since 2007. Since that Carlos Tevez game winner at Old Trafford to keep West Ham up in the Premier League, and just ever since that, we've not had a good season at Old Trafford. It's just been really poor. and I don't see the way the next point's going to come from. So that's all I have to say. I mean, just get through the season, win the Europa League, and that's it. Just get through these next 2 games, and hopefully it doesn't end as horribly for us as it is already. We could end up 17th still. So yeah, we have to surpass 40 points as well. That Chelsea team in 2023. So we shall see. Anyways, forget United. I've already done a whole show about that. So do check that out if you haven't done so already. It's the preview show I did with Rasta today. So I think that's it we have for the Premier League. I think we can do you want to do a couple games of Footy Bingo, or do you want to wrap it up here?
Well, it depends how many people are watching, because at best we only get about 3 or 4 anyway.
There's about 30 people watching. I think we can probably do like around 1 or 2 rounds of it.
Yeah, we can give it a try. I'm going to turn my camera off briefly so I can set it all up.
No worries, mate.
And go on a quick monologue to keep the viewers entertained.
Well, do you want to do that next show, anyways, or would you rather do the next show? Would you want to do it today, or want to do it next show? What's better?
Footy Bingo, I don't mind, honestly. It depends what you want.
We can do it today, honestly, to celebrate 230 subs. Might as well.
All right, go on then.
But while Josh is doing that, people, make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to the channel. It's important you do so. It's important that obviously, we do help the channel grow to the heights that it should be. I would like to get to 250 subs. So if there's 31 of you watching, head over to YouTube. If you're watching from Twitter, if you're watching from YouTube, make sure you guys, like I said, if you're entering, like and subscribe to both our channels. Josh will upload some videos very, very soon. Once he's done with school, once he's free, he'll be uploading some videos. So make sure you guys obviously do subscribe to his channel. And while you are, when he uploads his first video, you are there to see it. So that'd be great. And obviously, I will have some clips from today's show coming up. So make sure you guys, like I said, do check that one out. And yeah, we'll do some Footy Bingo and we'll wrap it up. Just a quick, I think 2 or 3 rounds. We'll do Footy Bingo, and then that should be good for today. But
I'm gonna share screen on my computer as well. So look out for that.
No worries, mate. No worries. Let's just bring this up quickly. Is there a chance you will feel shitty advantage? No, I don't know. Well, obviously, considering you're gonna beat me in the final, right? If that's the case, I will feel it. But if it's a game where it's not against United, I feel like, you know what? Fair enough. I don't hate Ange. I actually like him as a manager, and I kind of do feel bad for him at times. Because obviously, he doesn't deserve the scrutiny that he gets at certain times.
Yeah.
However, he has made a lot of errors this season, and he has a lot to blame for where Spurs are, and. I still think for me he should be sacked. I like him as a manager. I think he can do well somewhere else. He can do a lot better somewhere else as well. So big up to Ange as always. I like him as a manager. Really good personality. I think he definitely get a good job somewhere else as well. I'll bring it up now.
Well, Timothy, I am an Arsenal. The fuck was that?
Oh, that was your second. I brought up your second screen. I think you have to close volume on the other one.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, it's cool.
That was a massive cock up. My bad.
No, it's cool. It happens. Don't worry.
No, but Timothy, I am an Arsenal fan. So if Tottenham deliver a trophy, I'm going to feel shitty regardless. I do like Ange as a bloke. But yeah, at the end of the day, I am an Arsenal fan. So Spurs winning a trophy, I'm going to feel shitty, mate. I've got to be honest. But there's the code, lads.
Yep, the code is right there, people. Obviously join if you like. Play. The website's called playfooty.games, and go to Footy Bingo, online Footy Bingo, and the code is on the screen. Make sure you guys make sure you enter your name and the code. The code is GE8B9. There's the code, and then people.
I think I burst a few people's eardrums with that. Apologies.
No, that's cool. I think it exit exit the backstage. if you can.
No, yeah, it's because this my computer was on full volume as well, so it was
Oh,
terrible.
oh no, it's cool. Don't worry about that.
But Rasta Stocks, Timothy, if PY is in the chat, if Agassi is still in the chat, if Shaq is in the chat, join in, man, and we'll have a nice little footy bingo game.
Timothy, you can join as well, bro. You can join as well. Arian, you can join. Let me have a look at anyone else in the chat. Rasta, you can try joining as well. Yeah, and people watching.
Just get my glass.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. And people who are watching, you guys can tune in as well. It'll be good for it'll be good for to try and connect with you guys, and obviously to play some footy games with you guys. I would like to do this a lot more in the off season. So when the Premier League season's over, I will definitely do more footy bingo shows and maybe do some more fun football shows where we can debate on certain things. Like for example, like managers, like players, like eras of football. We can talk about a lot of things. I'm definitely gonna bring a lot of content for you guys in the off season. So do stay tuned to the channel and make sure you guys, if you want to see it, make sure you subscribe. As always, it's important you do so. But
Lads, we need one more person here. Come on.
at least one more person. Come on, Timothy, you can join. Arian, you can try joining as well if you're there watching.
Arian, you're so clutch all the time, man. Come on.
Yeah, he's always clutch, man. Arian's always clutch, bro. As always. God,
there's got to be one other person that's alive. Come on.
you know what's funny? I'm actually in Discord, right? Created by the Discord server you see right there, right on the top on the top left. I'm
Yeah.
actually in that Discord server. It's the footy bing. It's the footy. It's the footy games. Footy. Playfooty.games. Bing. Sorry. It's the playfootball.games Discord server. I'm in it.
You're actually in that.
Yeah. You can play footy bingo with them. Like they leave codes in the chat, and then you guys can just obviously you can play if you want.
Fair enough.
So,
I haven't used Discord since pre-COVID. I'm about to play Fortnite with my mates. So.
fair enough. I mean, during COVID, we were bored, weren't we? So, yeah.
Yeah, we were, man.
Come on, one person, at least one
There's
person.
got to be one more person, man.
There's got to be one person. Come on, at least one person can join in.
Hey, Akivin, when we're on when you're on 1,000 subs and whatnot, we'll reminisce on times like this when it was only us two in the footy bingo lobby.
Yep, it might still be that way. You just never know.
Knowing our luck, it would.
It generally might still be that way because you know what it is with people. They sometimes they just watch them. Sometimes they just have the stream on in the background. They ain't actually watching. They just have the stream in the background. I can tell by the way it is. But Jacques, if you're watching, Ariane, if you're still watching, Timothy, if you're still watching, please do join because it is important for obviously for us. Obviously, we're doing this at the end of our shows. We might as well do one for now. Honestly, we can just start.
There's got to be one more person, man. Come on. I'll give it 25 seconds, and then I'll start with one friend.
Yep.
You've got 20 seconds, lads. Come on. There's got to be one more person here.
Come on, people. Like literally.
It's not just us two talking to each other. Come on.
Yeah. Let me just message Ariane right now and tell him to join.
Ooh. Right, shall we start?
Nah, hold on. I'm messaging Ariane.
Alright. I mean, technically, you can put football bingo in the title anyway, because we're technically on now.
I could do so,
Arian.
Yeah.
Timmy. Come on. Jacques. Rasta. Come on now. I tell you what, for that United show, you should have done footy bingo on that.
We were too busy ranting about it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Too busy ranting about it. All right, easier. All right, he's gonna join. Just give him a minute.
Good. Hey, Arian, he always comes in clutch, man. Always. Legend.
Yeah, legend as always, man. Shout out to my guy. He's my pal from Thailand. So yeah, I know him in person. So yeah. So hopefully, when you do fly over, you can meet him and obviously we can watch some footy if you'd like.
Yeah, that should be next year. I should be there
Next
next
year.
year. Yeah, I know it's a long process, man.
Nah, it's cool, bro. Don't worry
You know,
about it.
I checked the UK government website, and
Yeah.
they showed us where to travel in Bangkok, and apparently way down south, you know, the little strip of land. Apparently that's considered dangerous.
Don't know what you're talking about, but
I'll show you a screenshot after the stream.
yeah, no worries.
That's right. Right, shall we start?
He's here. Yep. Cool.
All right, this is global, I think.
Global. All right. Cool. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Game
stop
starts.
sharing the screen.
Yep.
Actually, no, I'm gonna keep it on for viewers that are still watching but haven't joined.
Yeah. Game starts in literally 5 seconds. All right. Cool.
Right, none of the badges are.
I'm playing from my phone, so That was terrible. Can't lie. That was dreadful.
Mine was absolutely awful, mate. Christ.
The last three ones I got
No,
wrong.
it kept lagging.
Oh, fair enough. Shall we do a couple more, or you want to just, or you want to do one more? Or you want to
We'll do one more. Yeah, one more. I'll change it to the Premier. That's all right.
One more is cool. One more is fine with me.
Sweet. Create.
But yeah,
There we go.
I am gonna put Footy
I'm
Bingo.
going to share screen again. My computer's muted, don't worry.
No worries, bro. No worries. I'm just gonna quickly share the. I'm gonna put Footy Bingo in the title. Yeah.
Yep. Yes. Oh, the screen's being shared.
Yeah, no worries. There you go. I've added it in the title.
Nice one.
There you go.
Hopefully, that'll do the algorithm even better. I'm telling you now, Akiva, nothing but positive growth for this channel.
Hopefully, but big up for the support, man. Always, and you know,
It's alright, man. Room code is up, lads. Try and join.
9W3 IQ.
So we'll wait for Arian to join,
Yeah,
or
no worries.
Arian to join, and we'll do it one more time. Let's go. I'll stop sharing my screen.
Yep. Let's go.
Sweet.
Good luck.
Good luck, lads.
I messed up big time.
I'm still going. I had to say Drogba played for Brentford because I had no players left.
You got 42?
You've beaten,
Same as
yeah,
mine.
you've beaten me on time players.
Nah,
What nationality
it's
is
just played.
Ortega?
Sorry? Arian got
What
3 on class.
nationality is Ortega?
German, I think.
He's German. Oh, because I put the Spanish Man City one as Ortega. Never mind.
David. It was David Silva, wasn't it?
Yeah, I suppose. I just put David Silva as Man City. So. No, I put him as Spanish.
But anyways, you up for one more?
Anyway, to be honest, I mean, there's only 2 people playing. Well, 3 people playing, you know.
All right, no worries. Then I think we'll close it out here. Then people, like I've already said, make sure every single time you when you enter the show, and make sure when you leave the show, always leave a like on the video and always leave a comment. You know, subscribe to both of our channels. Josh will have a video coming very, very soon. And like I said, thank you for the support on the earlier today video. I know it's been and I know you all enjoy United rants because United haters out there, you all love it. So big up to you for the support. Anyways, big up to United fans who tuned in as well and commented on the live. Big up for everyone for the support today as well on this show. As always, every single week we like to grow to a new milestone. 250 subs by the end of April. By the end of May would be really nice. So like I said, people, always thank you guys for the love and support as always. Like, share, subscribe. Any last words you wanna before you wanna close out?
Not really. It's just Arsenal the shit, and hopefully United and Spurs both lose in the final. So there you go.
But
That's all I
anyways,
can
people,
say, man.
it's fair enough. I you don't want to see it, but anyways, people, we're out. Like, share, subscribe. Take care. Peace.
Take care.